I want to talk about how we structure our lives around the 5 pillars of prosperity. So, the thing is, I'm about to tell you the message. I'm going to deliver the message. Prosperity is not happy accident. It is a deliberate construction. That's why it's an architect. It's a deliberate construction. You decide. Let's look at it from this angle. If you were building a house, you wouldn't start with the roof. You ensure the foundation is poured and the pillars are set. And that I know for sure. My dad was an architect and a builder. So, this is the picture of how it unfolds. That's how it unfolds. When your emotional and spiritual pillars are shaky, your financial and physical pillars begin to lean. And it leans like the Tower of Pisa in Italy. They are interconnected. And then you start blaming the spiritual pillar. Oh, God doesn't love me. I'm being punished. And just one is cracking, 2 is cracking. Can you imagine when you have all 5 cracking? I keep saying that. My core and my root from childhood is all about finance, right? Because they had their own businesses growing up in that household. And it was historical for the family. So the point of it is that we are told to amass as much as we can in financial prosperity. Many years ago, people just despised me calling health a prosperity. They didn't see it, they didn't get it, they didn't understand it. And if all you have and your mind is tunnel vision on growing wealth, that's good for you. But you're only putting 20% of what you're supposed to do in play. And if you think a large amount of wealth is all you need, you can read one of the childhood stories about the woodcutter and the king. Or you can become modern and ask these people, Anthony Bourdain, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, and all these amazing singers and actors and people like that. And Robin Williams, they had money. They were lacking something emotional, mental. We don't know. Something was not enough. The money couldn't bring them the happiness. And that's why I love when they ask Chris Rock that question. Amy Winehouse, for example, that's a beautiful voice. I loved her voice. But it couldn't. So when they asked Chris Rock, what is the thing about money? You know what he said? Money allows you to have experiences you wouldn't normally have. That's all it's good for. And that is true. So we don't see that. When you have a health problem, you only have one problem. So health is the ultimate peak of prosperity. You have to keep that thing going, that health. And that health compromises your mental, emotional. And then do not walk around thinking that because you told somebody where to go in a handbasket, that person, you're going to go to hell. No. That every time somebody uses spirituality to tell you how you're going to be punished, you should watch the words they use, because people take words, and they fool around with it. And they don't even know. They just use it. It pops up, they use it. My cousin once said at a function, because she became a born-again Christian, and she pointed her index finger at us and said, God will be good for you and you. And I'm going, and everybody's looking at her, and I said, well, I certainly hope God is good for me. So she was looking like God would punish you good, and I'm saying God will prosper me good. I shut her up. So we have to listen to those things. You see, you have to make sure you set things in motion when you start. Like you need to have your health, and your health is part of the mental, emotional, and physical. And you can take spiritual health and throw it in there, because you need to have a spiritual connection, believing that you are fine. Your friend down the street is fine. I am fine. We're all fine. Maybe not the kind of fine you want for you, but they have their level of fine that they love for them. So we need to understand that. And it takes work. It does take work. So you have to understand when these pillars, the one that gets shaky most often, with all the money we have in the world or all the other things we have, possessions, the emotional and spiritual pillars are shaky. Your financial and physical pillars begin to lean on them. They're interconnected. We need to have an example without which we might not be able to relate to this thing. Think of a table with one leg. One leg is shorter than the others. Anything you place on that table, no matter how valuable, it is at a risk of sliding off. So we have to nurture those pillars. And I had to just shut the door on somebody that I really, really, really liked. And it's only because every time she spoke, she brought up words that I was not allowed to use as a child. Words that I prefer not to hear as an adult. Words I do not use as an adult. Like when she says, I prayed and I asked God to lengthen my husband's life by 1 year, and he didn't. And I'm so mad at him. And I'm saying, you are mad at something you cannot see. And she would talk about it using the H word, and the anger was spewing out of her. And I'm thinking, get on with your life. He was sick. He had 2 or 3 of those bags. He didn't want to be there, but you wanted him there. Why? Yet, I saw when she would scream and yell at him when one of them broke. So you see, we have to understand what we are doing. When one of our mental and emotional pillars are whack, things go funny. And we need to be able to remember that. So, if we draw our analogy through, just as the table, right? The table needs balance to be functional. Your life needs the equilibrium of all 5 pillars to hold the weight of your blessings. All the pillars have to be balanced. None should be higher than the other because it is forcing the others to weaken off or it's taken away from them. You just do small, daily, incremental things every day to keep your pillars healthy. When I talk to my friends and we talk and we find something that can help our bodies at the age that we are at, she makes me laugh because she will say to me, you know what, I'll try anything to make me feel better. I came across something where some person is saying, I talk to my nerves, I talk to this. I do. I said to my body, you have to function. We need to get downstairs. We have to climb stairs. We need to do this. Let's do this together. We came together. We have to finish this journey together. And you have to be determined. You have to make sure you are healthy. Drink your water. Rest when you're supposed to rest. Believe others are good enough and so are you. Read a book, learn a new skill, challenge yourself. When people refer to me, because in May I'm turning 80 days, when are you going to stop doing that thing? And I ask them, what are you planning for me to do when I stop doing that thing? No answer. They haven't got an answer. You see, as I taught Yuko years ago, you're not paying the money for this now. So what did you do with the money? I left it in my checking account. I said, so what was your point? So if I stop doing this, then what am I going to replace it with to keep myself healthy, my body in tune, my mind working, my energy going, my joy coming out of me and going out to you? Tell me. When you cut something out of your life and it has a block of time, or it's an actual money situation, then do something with it. I teach that. I say cut off some of the subscriptions you don't use. But when you cut those subscriptions that you don't use, make sure you put that money into another area that benefits you, like your vacation account. Tell me about it. So when you are going to replace something and do it, somebody says, stop doing this, then you have to sit and say, what can I do? Because I cannot sit forever and be 80 years old and cannot get out of the chair. The idea was the promise I made to myself. I was not going to ask Kylie or Michael or Gianna to pull me out of the chair. I said, I want to be able to stand up and get out of a chair without holding on to the chair. So therefore, I have to do things. I have to find out. Go for a walk. Let's drink water. As you drink a lot of water, there's pain in your body. Add a little bit of iodized salt to the water, and you'll see the body will rejuvenate. Because if you drink a lot of liquid water, you're going to go to the washroom often. You're losing sodium. Replace it with a little bit at a time. So the point that I want to make, you cannot neglect the mental to chase the financial and expect to feel rich. Just like what Amma said, you cannot do this. You cannot just neglect your mental or your emotional to chase financial and expect to feel rich. You're not going to feel rich. You're going to be exhausted, and you're going to get to the point where it's going to emotional. The point I'm making is this. True prosperity is the harmony between what you have and how you feel. It's all about feeling. It's not about doing. It's just feel. How do you feel? That is prosperity. The harmony, the movement, the cadence, the dance, the soca or whatever, harmony between what you have and how you feel. It's a dance. Life is a dance between you and everything around you. So the bottom line is this. When you strengthen one pillar, you provide better support for the others. Invest in your foundation today. What is your foundation? Look at your pillars. Which one is crying? When last you actually walked and exercised? You don't have to sweat. It doesn't mean 2 hours. But if you do 15 minutes of exercise every day, you will see the result. That's just how it is. Amma said, the person that asks you to stop doing things you enjoy hasn't found their joy, and you fulfilling yours makes them unhappy. I know. Whenever they do that to me, I just go fine, then do what you want, I'll do what I want. You know me, I have a plaster for every sore. So when you come to me backing at what I do, or you shouldn't do that, it doesn't even matter. Sometimes I love what my son's attitude is, whatever, mom. You know, boys, that's how they go, whatever, mom. Whatever floats your boat. That's what my son tells me. The girls that's our mother. And that's what I do. I have to do the things that gives me joy. You know, this morning, what was it? What I did? I had to check something. And it was just 7:45. And this young man I coached, and I had a conversation with him about investing in the stock market last week. We were talking about that. He found something this person was talking about having 5 accounts and all of that. And he said, oh, I saw this, and that reminded me of your teachings. That was just so amazing. If I had stopped doing that all those years ago, Melford couldn't be telling me that this morning. It made me feel good that he saw something that reminded him of what I told him to do. He listens to this after. And then he said to me, remember when I was talking about the house maintenance account a couple of weeks ago? He said, I don't have one of those. And I said, he said, well, I thought the emergency account is house maintenance. So I had to describe to him, I said, Melford, your house maintenance is you need light bulb, a new tap, a new toilet, something is broken, filters for the furnace. That's house maintenance. It's like the children's activity account. Oh, mom, it's pizza day. Oh, mom, tomorrow is pizza day. You know, oh, mom, there's a book club. You know what I mean? We all went through that journey already. So you know it's coming. Prepare for what is coming. You know you're going to age, and they tell us sarcopenia, I am not a scientist, happens and the leg weakens. When you hear that, you should start running like wild dogs after you. You do not want your legs to weaken. This year, my vision board was based on the feeling I want to experience and not acquiring more stuff. Yeah. I just feel amazing. And that's what I tell myself. I tell the energy of the garden, get ready, I am coming. I spoke to my pergola and I said, when I come to sit here, to dream, to meditate, to dance, be ready. Stay healthy. Tell the wind to give you a break. And that's what I do. I look out the window and I say, I told my friend, I said, this winter has taken us down a peg or two. And I said, when this summer comes, if you find me lying on the grass, then you just know that I am just paying back winter for what it did to us. So, yes, I agree with you. There comes a time you don't need to acquire. You need to release, breathe, so that you feel healthy. And watch what you eat. This journey I started when I was in my 40s. I started really working on watching my what I ate. And because I know as I go, your ingestion changes. What do you use? There are some easy things. What about one 8-ounce amount of ginger tea after dinner? That settles your stomach. It helps with digestion. Just simple things that helps you, that releases you. 100 years ago, they used clove when somebody had a toothache. They crushed it and packed it in the cavity. We have it in the kitchen. You can't sleep? Take some clove tea. Just draw it and sip on it. The warmth alone and the fragrance of that strong spice gives you some energy to relax. We need to do the things differently. After the age of 40, it just comes. If you had told me at 40, oh, you'll be looking at 80, not that I believe I would die. I was just saying 40 years from now, you're warning me about that. Yeah. Yes. It just happened. It just came and it just took off. You cannot neglect one pillar to fix the other one. Here's the point. You know what? We have to always have a point. It's having the true harmonies between what you have and how you feel. Just like Amma said, true prosperity is the harmony between what you have and how you feel. When you strengthen one pillar, you provide support for the others. Invest in your foundation today. Is your prosperity table wobbly? Let's look at the 5 pillars holding you up today. Are they wobbly? Do they have a problem? The secret to a solid life isn't more weight, it's better support. So that is the thing we have to understand. If we want a fulfilled life, we have to have good support within the 5 pillars. I am not saying that money is not important. Yes, it is. Because money gives you the opportunity to have experiences you wouldn't normally have. And I did that for me. I planned it for me. I work on it for me. And that is one of the things. Somebody might say, all of these accounts are confusing. For me, it was confusing to have one. It's like an Irish stew. Carrot, leeks, meat, cheese, whatever, everything is in there. And when I realized I need to separate them so I can see. And when I had the first Christmas account, when November came, I took all the money out and I bought the Christmas things I needed. It felt good, but I didn't have a bill to pay. So all of a sudden, the toilet cracks, but you have a house maintenance. Oh, it's not an emergency. It's a maintenance thing. The filter needs furnaces, maintenance. Emergency is the flat tire on the highway, or the car wouldn't stop. It wouldn't stop running or it wouldn't start. Whatever, one of those. So we need to plan things so that at a certain time of our life, we stand in the middle and we just point to the direction we want to go and touch the things that needs it. That's how it is. And you have to be the architect of your life. Nobody's going to come to do it for you. And when you're doing your thing and people are asking you, why are you doing that? Tell them that is for them to find out. Because the same people, guys, that were telling me at 51, why do you want to study to become a certified financial planner? They were asking me, why would you do that? Very soon you're going to retire. They are the ones telling me, oh, you are so lucky, you travel all over the world, you go everywhere. I had a plan. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to have that with my husband while he was alive, although he never packed one bag for himself. But it was fun. And I still do it. But it was a plan, an architectural plan you put together. Where's the foundation? My father would have these iron rods in the ground, and you saw the what you call it, the cement being poured in and that coming up. And you know what he said? You know what my dad said to me once? Putting a house together is very quickly done. He said, it's when you get inside and you have to do all the work inside, like the finishing touches. That is what takes a long time. So putting ourselves together, it can be done. But it's the finishing touches that makes it supreme. Those finishing touches that you have financial stability, that you're able to drive the car of your choice. You live in the home of your choice. You're mortgage free, you're rent free, or you're mortgage free and you have disposable income. That's important. And then you must have the physical ability to maneuver all of those things. You should be mentally acute to know that when somebody phones you and start talking to you on the phone every day and you're chatting and you're lonely, that you don't send them your money. Mental acuity as you age, because that is who they're coming after, preying on seniors, our friends, our family members, people we don't know, because they have all that money, but mentally they're not listening to the news. They don't know that there are people, that's all they do. So you see, the finishing touches is important. You worked for that money. You set it aside. And now somebody is loading you up with flattery, and you send your money to Timbuktu. Or they tell you they love you and you have given them all of your money, and they send you a ticket to come to Timbuktu, and the next thing you are in a jail in Hong Kong or in China. So it's the finishing touches that matters. Put your life together, great. Be acute and just be there mentally. Do not just say, the news is, I'm horrible and bad, I don't want to. No, there is lessons to be learned in that news. Take some of it. Learn. Look, ask question. When somebody calls your home and you don't know the person, do not answer the phone, or leave it alone and erase it and block it. If they're important and it's something you need to know, they will leave a message. And then you can gather yourself to know how to put it together. Finishing touches. Finishing touches. That's what we have to do. We have put to work for years and build this life. And all of a sudden, people are coming from the woodwork like wood ants, and they're trying to take our life from us, our livelihood, your money. But you didn't build a foundation of mental acuity and emotional health. You didn't do work on it. So we need to make sure that we are very much aware of those kinds of situations. Make your life properly. Build it strongly. But on the outskirts, find out what's going into the world. The news is true. I'm not saying it's good news, because good news don't sell. So it's all bad news. But sometimes somebody's bad experience is the lesson to prevent you or those you love from having a similar experience. Listen to me. On the news yesterday, there was a couple from, I don't know where they were from, but it's in Canada. And their 18-year-old daughter got a job online to be an international courier, delivery person. And the father, you can see their daughter is there, and he's saying to the reporter, I should have asked more questions, but she was so excited. She's in jail. She's in jail in China. And it's going to be on TV on Saturday night. I forgot what that program is called. But so there's finishing touches in life. You have to listen to the news yourself. I never knew this happened. Yes, those things do happen. They happen to women. 2 daughters were showing that their mother went from Nigeria to somewhere else, and now she was looking for love. You accumulate your money. Finishing touches. And the bank, yes, the bank is not going to send a courier company to your house to pick up your credit card because there is fraud. The bank doesn't need your help to solve frauds. I work inside the belly of the bank. The frauds department is bigger than the rest of the bank. They have a whole lot of people to manage that. They don't want you to send your money to them. If they want your money, they can take it. It's there. It's in their bank. So when somebody tell you buy gold bars and Bitcoin and all of that to take your money because there is fraud, you have to just go and call your bank. Walk to your bank if you do not believe it. Although that other couple did go to the bank, then they told them it was fraud and they lost over $1 million. So yes, finance is important. But if you are not aware and you do not have mental ability, emotional ability to think, to know that these frauds are happening, to protect yourself and your loved one and those that you care about, you are going to end up messing up your 5 pillars of prosperity. To live a fulfilled life is to have all of these pillars working well into your senior ages and to be healthy. And just when it's time to close your eyes, the eyes are closed. But you cannot stop functioning because of your age. That makes no sense. Both my parents passed away. None of them had illnesses that lasted more than a week. My mother got sick on Friday. She died. Sunday, she died the following Friday. My dad was the same thing, well into their 90s. But they never stopped. My dad kept reading. He couldn't go all through the plantation, the estate, up and down the hill of the estate, but he walked, he moved, he read. So, and my mom was running her business until the day she got sick. So these are the things you have to remember. You can accumulate, but you must maintain. Maintenance. You take your car to get service. For a flat tire, you go, you get the oil change, lube job, but you don't go to the doctor. Why? Because you're fine. You don't take proper nutrition because you don't like it. Like my cousin's wife, I don't like water. What is in water to like? It's a necessity of life. So of course, she has kidney problems. It just doesn't make sense. It frustrates me when I see that all the tools we need to live a fulfilled life is right there. But we are too busy staring at the stars for us to see the moon. It's there. And we need to look up and look at the moon and see. Because the moon is all of it together. All your 5 pillars together. Be aware, listen to the news, pay attention, do something to help yourself. Do not listen to those who tell you, oh, you should retire, you stop working, you're working too hard, oh, you're just talking about your books, you just want to sell your book. Well, where is your book? Do you have one? You see what I mean? Or when people are telling you, listen to me very carefully, this is important to know. When somebody tells you something that they're trying to put you down, you should stop this, you shouldn't do that, you're doing this, we don't like it. Look at them to their face and say, are you okay? Just ask them that question. You don't have to be rude. And you don't have to make it very loud. You just go, are you okay? The minute you ask that human that is trying to give you some negative vibration,